FastCast TV, Game of Thrones, Season 7, Episode 5. So that thing I said last week about how every episode is the best episode, that is still the case. This week, everything was coming so fast and furious, you could be forgiven for missing a couple of, super important things. So first off, we now know that Bronn and Jaime are not dead. They were just resting. The episode opens with them crawling out of the muck, and Bronn basically giving the justification for why he would throw himself into harm's way is because he says, "You still owe me, Jaime. Nobody gets to kill you but me." But now Jaime's like, "Okay, I have faced a dragon in pitched battle. We are not going to win this war. Holy crap." So he heads home to tell Sister all about it. At which point we discover, that Cersei is with child. Now that almost feels soap opera-y to me. It sort of adds to the suspense because the whole issue, a couple episodes ago, she says, "I don't even know what we're fighting for because we don't have any family anymore." Now that might change. After the battle with the dragon, Daenerys does what she assumes to be the queenly thing, which is the survivor, she says, "All right, you have a choice. You can join me or you can die." And we see the end of another very important house, that is House Tarly. The head of the house and his son, Dickon, get fried to a crisp. And that's a bummer, not only because now another great house is gone, but they're not quite gone because Samwell, who's at Old Town, does not yet know that this is what has happened. He is definitely not going to take it well, but he's doing his own thing right now, so I am not super worried about Sam. We get a raven to Old Town telling us that, no, really, there's an army of the dead coming. We should probably do something about that. Grand Maester and all the other Maesters are just not having it. I don't think they buy it. Sam says, "I don't care. You should do this." Seems like they're not going to. He basically says, "All right, I'm doing it myself." He steals a bunch of books and takes off. However, one of those books, Gilly is reading to him. And boy, Sam, I literally yelled at the screen. I said, "Shut up and listen to her, Sam. This is important stuff." But he didn't. And in this bit, we were learning that Rhaegar Targaryen actually annulled his marriage and then was remarried, so he was actually legitimately married to Jon Snow's mom. Which puts us in a really interesting position because not only do we now know for a fact that Jon Snow is not the bastard of Winterfell, he is actually a legitimate Stark and a legitimate Targaryen. Another important thing, Littlefinger appears to be trying to drive a wedge between the Stark sisters. Arya thinks she's being super clever, but it turns out Littlefinger's just a little cleverer. Daenerys comes home with her dragon and lands right in front of Jon Snow, who appears to be a dragon whisperer. He manages to reach out and pet it. I think Daenerys is giving him the side eye this whole time, being like, why isn't he more scared? And why is this dragon letting him touch it? That is not a thing that most people who are not Targaryens would probably be able to do. I think she's starting to wonder, could this be a thing? But then the episode, the sort of setting us up for the next couple weeks thing is that the episode ends with a sort of misfit band of brothers heading north, basically to capture a dead person, to bring back to King's Landing, basically to convince Cersei that, no, we should all stop fighting amongst ourselves and turn to the north to fight the real enemy. In part of the plan of trying to convince Cersei, Tyrion sneaks into King's Landing to meet with Jaime surreptitiously, while Davos goes to find Gendry, who we didn't know we were going to find again, necessarily. Last we left him was Season 3, he was out rowing, but now Gendry is going north with Jon, and he has got an awesome warhammer, which I think is Valyrian steel. He heads north to try and catch one of these dead guys, so we got Jon, Gendry, Davos. When they get to the wall, Eastwatch by the Sea, which is a new location we haven't seen yet, by the way, we also meet up with the Hound and the two Lord of Light people, and so this group is what's going above the wall. I don't know who's not going to make it, but they're definitely not all going to make it back. And there's only 2 episodes left in the season! So yeah, this will probably be one of the longest FastCasts ever, because there really isn't anything you can leave out. There was just so much happening in this episode, it's ridiculous, and I left out a bunch of stuff, I'm sure. Game of Thrones continues to be awesome. I cannot wait to see how they finish up this episode. Next week's looks to be pretty action-packed, if you watch the previews, which I do. Game of Thrones, still great. FastCast TV, see ya! Hey, thanks for watching the FastCast. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mr. J Handle, and check back, because I do this a couple times every week. FastCast!